Doing sports talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed, baby. Now, let's talk heavyweights, and we're talking about that fight that's coming on February 22nd, the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, baby. It's the biggest fight of the year, right? And the one I wasn't even happy about. But it's going to happen. It's the WBC heavyweight champion versus the lineal champion. Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. It's the rematch, baby, and it's on, right? And boom, speaking of its own, I got it on, so you know what time it is. Now, a couple of days ago, the former trainer of Tyson Fury, Peter Fury, his uncle, said, "Hey, I want Peter Fury to maul him. Oh, excuse me. I want Tyson Fury to maul Deontay Wilder. That's what he needs to do. Just go up and maul him. Haven't you guys heard that here a lot? Right? That when Tyson Fury gets knocked down, what does he get up and do? He gets up and get in maul mode. Ask Steve Cunningham, Deontay Wilder, or anybody else who try to have him down. Once he understands that I'm going to maul you because I'm bigger than you, that's when he's in trouble, and he will do that. And I said he might want to do that at the beginning of the fight against Deontay Wilder. That's what his uncle thinks as well. Because, you know, out there outboxing Wilder, again, people know damn well Wilder was just had the right hand cocked. So you won't want to do that. So I think he's going to be a little bit more aggressive. Now, his trainer, his new trainer, right, Sugar Hill Stewart, you know, the nephew of Emmanuel Stewart, the great Emmanuel Stewart, said, I don't want Fury to win on points versus Wilder. You know what I'm saying? I don't want him to win on points versus Wilder. You got to get him out of here. I was taught by my uncle, or, you know, I got to get the knockout. You know, don't leave it up to the judges, right? And then, you know, let me read a little something how he was talking about it. He said, that was the risk that Tyson took, you know, in the first fight and not stepping on the gas and trying to win on points, Sugar Hill said to IFL, matter of fact, IFL TV about Fury fight. He said he doesn't want that again. I don't want it. I wasn't raised that way. A man stood always taught me get the knockout. That's the only way, 100% way you know you won the fight by taking it out of the hands of judges. You know, I thought Tyson Fury did enough to win the fight, even though he was knocked down twice. I'm not mad at the decision because I've always taught don't leave it in the hands of the judges. The best way to win the fight is to not leave it up to anybody else, right? And then it goes on to talk about other things, right? So he's basically saying, hey, you got to take him on out of here. Don't leave it in the hands of the judges. A lot of fighters think that way, right? A lot of fighters think that way because judges, you know, sometimes judges, man, I told you they need to have headphones on. They shouldn't be able to listen to the crowd or anything else, right? It should be headphones, unbiased. You can't hear nothing. And that's just bottom line what you have to do. I've been saying that for a long time. And then after a fight, remember 2 years ago when I said I called it the justification booth, where you got to go after the fight, even if it's a day later, it doesn't matter. Day later, you got to go in there with three other guys and watch that fight again and explain your decision. That'll make them have to get their stuff together, right? But that's another thing. Now, I told you guys, didn't I? I told you guys that Sugar Hill Stewart is a good move for Tyson Fury because of the simple fact I was telling you, he doesn't need to be around people who gonna tell him you won the first fight. He needs to be people to say, hey man, you're gonna have to do something more to win this fight. That's who he needs to be around. It's good because if you just hearing I won the fight, that's not good for your motivation. You want to figure out I got to do more. And that seems like what Tyson Fury is doing because he's changed up everything. We've been talking about that. But this is something impressive too that Sugar Hill Stewart was saying. He was saying something about Deontay Wilder, which means the respect in their gym should be pretty high. He said, I've been around a lot of heavyweights that have been dominant throughout the years, and he's been making his way and being dominant, Sugar Hill said, of Wilder. He's been a champion for 5 years, and that's a long time in any division, especially the heavyweight division. Vladimir Klitschko almost broke Joe Louis's record for the longest reigning heavyweight champion. To do what Wilder has done for 5 years is a big accomplishment, right? You have to put him up there with the great heavyweights. Wilder's knocking everybody out. I don't know any other heavyweight that has knocked anybody out like that. He's only had one fight that he didn't get a knockout, right? You look at those things and say, wow, right? We can go on about what he's talking about because he gave Tyson Fury some props too, right? He gave Tyson Fury some props. He's like, hey, man, people don't be coming back. Muhammad Ali came back, right? People don't be coming back like that and get into a fight with Wilder. And, you know, people didn't think Tyson Fury was going to do good in that first fight against Wilder, and he did well. A lot of people think Tyson Fury won the fight. Those two knockouts saved Deontay Wilder. So with that being said, we got a good fight. I think Tyson Fury has a good trainer around him because the mindset is what he's going to need instead of people just blowing gas up, you know, up his butt, right, and blowing hot air up there. You don't need that. He needs somebody telling him, hey, you know, you're going to have to be ready. And see, I mean, Tyson Fury has great defense, right? The 6'9", 270, just leaning is great defense already. But he has great defense, great skills, but he should still be working on it because at the end of the day, don't get knocked down twice, and you could probably win the fight if Deontay Wilder comes out there the same way he did last time. That right? Let's see what happens going forward. I thought that was important. Somebody better listen to Emmanuel Stewart's little nephew here. Sugar Hill seems like he know what he's talking about, and he's totally unbiased about it. Even though he's training Tyson Fury, he's giving props to Deontay Wilder. But let me tell you something. Ben Davison did that as well. So I think we basically all understand that Deontay Wilder is one of the hardest punchers ever, and I think they even called him, just like I said, a big version of Tommy Hearns. It is similar, right? It's similar. Tommy Hearns knocked a few people out with one punch, but not everybody. But it was some thudding stuff Tommy Hearns was throwing, though. Same thing. So let's check this out. We're getting a little bit more hyped as it gets closer to the fight. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming down. This was interesting. What you think? Dome Sports Talk worldwide, and I'm up out of here, y'all.